When your cat looks straight at you, have you ever stopped and wondered what they actually see? Most people assume their cat sees their owner, maybe even their favorite human. But the truth is something almost no one talks about. Your cat has never once looked at you and thought, "That's a human." In your cat's world, that category simply doesn't exist. And once you understand what they really see instead, the way you interpret almost everything your cat does will start to change. Because every day, your cat is sending signals, small, quiet behaviors that most owners completely miss. The way they walk towards you, the way they rub against your leg, even the way they stare at you across the room, none of those things mean what we think they mean. In your cat's mind, you are not an owner, not a master, not even a different species. You are something else entirely, something much closer to them than most people realize. And that one belief shapes the way your cat trusts you, talks to you, and even relaxes around you. But the first step to understanding that bond begins with a surprising idea. In your cat's eyes, you might just be a very large, slightly clumsy cat. Have you ever noticed something strange about the way your cat greets you when you come home? There's no frantic tail wagging like a dog. No jumping. No desperate excitement. No dramatic celebration like you've been gone for years. Most of the time, your cat simply glances at you, maybe walks over, brushes against your leg, and then calmly continues whatever they were doing. To many people, that feels distant, even cold. But in reality, it means something completely different. Your cat isn't ignoring you. Your cat is treating you exactly the way they would treat another cat. Animal behaviorist John Bradshaw, who spent years studying how cats interact with humans, discovered something fascinating about this. Cats never developed a completely separate social system for dealing with people. Dogs did. Cats didn't. Instead, cats simply use the same behaviors with us that they use with other cats. When your cat rubs against your leg, bumps your hand with their head, or gently grooms your fingers with their tongue, those are not pet owner behaviors. Those are cat-to-cat bonding signals. In other words, when your cat approaches you like that, they're not acknowledging a superior. They're greeting a member of their own group. And in their mind, that member just happens to be extremely large, a little slow, and sometimes a bit clumsy. But still, part of the colony, which, in the language of cats, is actually one of the highest forms of acceptance they can give. Because once your cat sees you as part of their world, something else begins to happen, something that surprises many owners the first time they see it. Suddenly, your cat starts bringing things to you, and at first, it can feel a little disturbing. At some point, almost every cat owner experiences the same strange moment. You walk into the room, and there on the floor is something your cat left for you. Maybe it's a toy mouse. Maybe it's a sock. And sometimes it's an actual mouse. Your cat sits nearby, staring at you with a quiet, almost expectant look, as if waiting for your reaction. Most people laugh. Some people panic. Others feel slightly horrified. But what if that moment isn't random at all? What if it's actually one of the most sincere things your cat ever does for you? In the wild, mother cats teach their kittens how to hunt in stages. At first they bring back dead prey. Later they bring prey that's still moving, giving the kittens a chance to practice the chase. It's not a reward. It's a lesson. Hunting is survival. And survival has to be taught. Now think about your cat watching you every single day. You never chase anything. You never stalk anything. Food simply appears when you open the refrigerator. From a cat's perspective, that behavior looks deeply concerning. So instead of judging you, your cat steps in to help. When your cat drops a gift at your feet, they may be acting on that same instinct their ancestors used to raise kittens. In their mind, you are part of the colony, but clearly not a very skilled hunter. And sometimes, the lesson becomes a little more gentle. Instead of a mouse, they bring a toy. They drop it in front of you. They wait. Because in that moment, your cat may be thinking something surprisingly simple. Maybe this time you'll learn, have you ever leaned your face close to your cat, expecting a sweet moment, only to feel like they're staring straight through you? It almost feels personal, like they're ignoring you on purpose. But the truth is much simpler and a little surprising. Your cat probably can't see your face clearly at that distance. Cats are incredible hunters when it comes to movement, but their close-up vision isn't nearly as sharp as ours. Anything closer than about 10 inches from their face can start to look soft and blurry. So when you bring your face right up to theirs, hoping for eye contact, what your cat actually sees is more like a fuzzy shape than a detailed face. And it doesn't get dramatically sharper farther away either. Compared to human vision, cats see the world in something like permanent soft focus. Edges are less defined. Fine details disappear. And faces aren't the main thing their brain relies on to recognize individuals. That's the part many people misunderstand. Your cat doesn't recognize you primarily by what you look like. Instead, they recognize something much more complex and much more personal. They recognize the way you move across a room, the rhythm of your footsteps, the tone of your voice when you say their name, and most importantly, the scent that belongs only to you. In other words, your cat doesn't carry a photograph of you in their mind. They carry the entire feeling of you. And because visual signals alone aren't enough for them to communicate with us, cats developed another strategy, one that almost never appears in the wild, but shows up constantly in our homes. Think about how often your cat talks to you during the day. Maybe they sit by their food bowl and let out a long, demanding meow. Maybe they stand by the door and call for you to open it. Or maybe, at 3 o'clock in the morning, they decide it's the perfect time to walk across the house, announcing their presence to the entire world. To us. It sounds like normal cat behavior. But here's something that surprises a lot of people. Adult cats almost never meow at each other. In the natural world, that sound is rarely used between grown cats at all. The meow actually begins much earlier in a cat's life. Kittens use it to communicate with their mother. It's a signal that says, I'm hungry. I'm cold. I need attention. As kittens grow older and become independent, they usually stop using that sound with other cats. Body language, scent, ear position, tail movement, those become their main ways of communicating. But when cats began living closely with humans, something interesting happened. They realized that we are surprisingly bad at reading those silent signals. We miss the tail flicks. We overlook the slow blinks. We don't always understand the quiet language cats use with each other. So cats adapted. They revived the one sound that always got a response when they were small, the meow, and aimed it directly at us. Over time, many cats even develop a kind of personal vocabulary with their owners. The meow for food sounds different from the meow for attention. And both sound different from the impatient meow at the bedroom door in the middle of the night. It's not random noise. It's a language built specifically for you. And the deeper scientists looked into that bond, the more they realized something even more powerful was happening beneath it. Have you ever walked into a room and noticed your cat change almost instantly? A moment ago they were alert, ears upright, eyes scanning every corner of the space. But the second they see you, their whole body softens. The ears relax. The eyes half close. Sometimes they stretch, roll onto their side, or slowly curl into a comfortable loaf as if the tension in their body just melted away. Most people assume that simply means their cat was tired, but science suggests something much deeper may be happening in that moment. Your presence might actually be telling your cat's nervous system that everything is safe. In 2019, researchers at Oregon State University conducted a study designed to measure how strongly cats bond with their owners. They placed cats in an unfamiliar room with their human, then asked the owner to leave for 2 minutes before returning. What happened next surprised many people in the scientific community. More than 60% of the cats showed what psychologists call a secure attachment style. When their person returned, the cats relaxed, explored the room again, and returned to calm behavior. When the person was gone, many became tense, vocal, or withdrawn. That pattern might sound familiar because it's the same attachment response researchers see in human infants with their parents. The same emotional wiring, the same sense of safety returning when a trusted figure walks back into the room. And when you connect that discovery with everything we talked about earlier, how your cat sees you as part of their colony, how they communicate with you, how they remember you by scent and movement, the meaning becomes surprisingly simple. To your cat, you're not just another creature in the house. You are the place where the world finally feels calm. So when your cat looks at you from across the room, they're not seeing an owner in the human sense of the word. They're seeing something much simpler and much more meaningful. In their mind, you're a large member of their colony, the one who shares space with them, who smells familiar, who moves in ways they recognize, who answers when they speak in their strange little language of meows. Over time, all of those signals blend together into one powerful association: safety, comfort, belonging. Your cat doesn't care about titles or roles. To them, you're not a human in charge. You're the place where the world feels safe, your home.